Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be doing a video on beginning Java, and so this is just a short introduction to how to program in Java. Not so much on the background of it, more on how to actually program Java. So we're going to be doing that, and I'm going to be using Eclipse. I feel like it's a pretty solid and easy to understand IDE for any beginners. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna press File up here. If you're on Windows, this is how it'll look like. On Mac, I think it's gonna be different, but it should be pretty similar. So what we're gonna do File, New. We're gonna go to Java Project, and we're gonna call this. I'm gonna call it Tutorial. You can call it whatever you want. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna go down here, press Finish. And now you can see tutorial has shown up. And what we're going to do now, we're going to open this up. You're going to see something called SRC. Typically, it's short for source. So what we're going to do here, I'm right clicking right now. And we're going to go here and we're going to choose class. So I'm not going to choose any of this. I'm not going to change anything, but except I'm going to change the name right here. And let's call this first class. And typically we like to put all the uppercase. We like to put it as uppercase whenever you have the beginning of a word. And you can put numbers in here, but you cannot put spaces. You can see up here, type names not valid. Cannot start or end with a blank. You can't have a space in between either. So something like first class is what you'd want. So we're going to press finish. Now you can see we have the default package, first class.java. Now this is going to be a .java class, and we're going to go here. Whenever this little asterisk shows up, that means your program is not saved. You can press Control S, and if you have multiple classes, which you can just easily go over here to source or a default package and just make more using the class button. You have to call it something different unless you do it in another project. So we have first class right here, and what we're going to do, we're going to write. And so first of all, keep in mind we have something called public class first class. So, and then you have these curly braces. So that's the basis of our Java code. So what we're going to do is we're going to write some stuff here, and this is something you should memorize. So this is what we have here, and this is what we're going to call main, and this is where the program will start. If we want to run our program, this is where it'll start. This is the first line it'll see, or compile as it's known. And you might notice, let's say I were to remove this. I'm intentionally putting it as the wrong format. So you'll see these little X's right here. You'll notice that these mean that something is wrong, usually some sort of syntax error. So I'm going to add that back right now, and you'll notice that those errors are gone. I'm going to do Control S, or it might be Command S if you're on Mac, and so then we have that fixed. So we have public static void main public, and you have to write it exactly like this. And then you have to write string. You have to have these little braces. If you want, you can actually move these braces to the end over here. But usually, you'd want to put it over here. And you can see this little args thing right here. That's how it's automatically put, but you can actually write like ABC if you want. You can call it whatever you want. Pretty much whatever you want. There are certain limitations to how you want to write it. So, going off of that, now what we're going to do, we are going to write some basic code. I mean, this is already pretty basic, but we're going to go a bit further. So we're going to write down, and just this is should be a type after me. So system.out.println, ln short for line, and then we're going to put quotation marks. And usually when you just tap it once, it'll do both for you. The Eclipse is pretty smart that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here, and you can type in literally anything you want. So I'm just going to type some random stuff. Usually people will start with hello world. Spelled world wrong there. But if I did spell wordle, that would be fine. It would still work. Then we can press enter to go to the next line. And what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to run the program through Eclipse. It's a bit different if you're using the terminal window or say PowerShell or something. But if you're using Eclipse, which I highly recommend you do if you're a beginner, you want to press this button right here, this little green play button, it almost seems like. Not the coverage or the run last tool. You want to do this run first class.java, and you can actually see reader is another class that I've been using. It's for personal uses. So as you can see, go down here, it's something called the console. We got hello world to print, and that's what this line of code here does. It prints out hello world. But what if we were to change it? Let's say we removed this right here. What would happen in this case? Let's do Control S, save it. Actually, you don't really need to save it because when you run the thing, it saves it as you do it. So as you can see, now we get an error. There's no main method. And these things right here are called methods. This is called a class. And so it's important to note you need this main method in your class to run. So that is what you need to know. And it's not a proper main method. Even though this is called main, it is not a proper main method. So you need to put this there, those straight brackets. And that is the basic line of code that I'm going to show you. And this is very basic stuff. I know I spent 8 minutes on this, but this is beginning Java. This is very new for some people. Some of you might think that this is really easy. If so, not really sure why you watched it, but thanks for watching it anyway. Be sure to be watching out for my next videos, which I'll be covering and I'll be going more in depth to some harder topics. If you guys have any preferences on what topics you'd like to see next, feel free to leave a suggestion down in the comments. So yeah, let's get on with it.